Hey everybody, welcome to another quick video. Mapping and planning of mapping and showing a little bit of comparison about what's available when it comes to mapping. A lot of exciting things going on in the world right now with regard to mapping. I told you guys years ago this was going to happen, and it's starting to happen, and it's starting to happen really, really fast. So very, very exciting times coming up. Right, you're looking at the screen, you're thinking to yourself, what has Mega 360 got to do with mapping or planning of mapping? I'll tell you what it is. Let's say, for example, you're a tournament angler and you roll up on a spot like this. It's a big rocky point, perfect depth. Um, uh, yeah, this is what you want to target, okay? And you see these boulders, and you see bait fish, and you see fish swimming around, and you deploy your live scope, and boom, you see, you can identify your bass swimming around the bait and around the rocks where they should be, and boom, it all happens. Now, when it's a tournament, you want this to happen quite quickly. So you haven't got weeks and months to keep fishing and fishing and fishing until you find a couple of hotspots. You want to be, whether you live close to the dam or you live in a completely different country on the opposite side of the world, you want to be able to get your hands on the best information possible so you can eliminate wasted time when you arrive at your fishing destination. Because remember, we all love fishing, but sometimes, like tournaments, it's a little bit more about the catching than the fishing. Okay? This takes planning. Can you just have a couple of beers, put your feet up, have a bit of a hangover, and a fish comes along and takes your line and you catch a big fish? Can that happen? Of course, it can happen. It's happened many times before. People have won boats. It's been wonderful. But if you're fishing the type of tournament, like a top 5 fish, for example, you're fishing for points, that type of thing, don't bank on that lucky fish. That lucky fish is a gift from the fishing gods. You just want to get good points and a good average point. Anyway, I don't need to explain tournaments to you guys. Right, so this is what you want. This is your ultimate picture, okay? If you've never fished this dam in particular, here is Albert Falls Dam. If you've never fished this dam in your life, it'll take you a while to work it out. There's a lot of offshore stuff. If you haven't done any homework whatsoever, wow, you're in for some interesting times. It's going to be tough. But like I said, anybody can get lucky. But let's say you're the type of person that wants to put in the effort and put in the time. Okay, what tools are available to you? First of all, this is what I'm doing now. There's Google Earth. Okay, this is a wonderful tool. There's also programs out there that you can download satellite imagery directly to your Hummingbird, to your Lawrence unit, free of charge. It's no cost. So this is really available to almost anybody. Look, you can't have an entry level unit. You've got to have a unit that is capable of some imagery. Like your Lawrence Elite FSs, Elite HDS, the HDS range, and then some of the older units. The Hummingbirds do it. All the Hummingbirds you can create imagery for using the AutoChart Pro. So yeah, this is not anything new. It just takes a little bit of effort on your part. Okay, so now the first thing, there's a fantastic tool called historic imagery, which you can see up on the top here. Now, I remember in 2016, the dam went really low. I think it was 2016. Yeah, there we go. Okay, immediately you can see, wow, there's a lot. Albert Falls is one of those very hectic dams with a lot of offshore structure. Okay, I've chosen something a little bit closer to home here, something that's to a lot of people, this is just completely foreign. A lot of guys are not offshore anglers at all. And with this video, I'm trying to target the guy that is a bank angler, a shoreline angler, but he's venturing off on points and he's done his homework on that sort of perspective of things. When you look at this low-level satellite imagery, it's not bad. I mean, if you look at the imagery, you've got a pretty good idea. You can see sort of what is going on here. If you zoom in, the problem with this is as you zoom in, things start to get a little bit blurry. Now that you've got this image here, you're on the dam and you've got your satellite image and you check it with your 360, you go, oh, this is a good spot. But guys, this isn't good enough. You want to be able to do this from home, whether you're in France, whether you're in the States, whether you're in Australia, whether you're in Germany, wherever it might be. You want to be able to study this dam properly, okay? So what's the first thing most guys do? They go and get themselves a contour chart. It's available. There's some free versions available from CMAP. There's purchased versions available from Navionics. Garmin's got it. Hummingbird's got it with the Lake Master. A lot of these, particularly in South Africa, you've got very, very high level contour charts. And I know that for a fact because I know where they got their data from. To someone that was very meticulous about how he collects sonar data, and that is me. So again, now we've got these contour charts. I'm going to keep coming back to this wonderful shot here, the tournament or any angler's dream spot. Okay, everything happening. Is there enough information? Was this just this one point? You can see it's a point. It's crystal clear. Was that enough information for you to give you this amount of information that you would say, hey, this is definitely a hotspot? You've identified this depth to be a good depth, and this is what we're going to target. No. You know why? Because there's 1,000 others like it, just like it. There's plenty, okay? So what else do we have? Okay, let's get rid of all that. Let's go to shaded relief. Now we heard, hey, now we got shaded relief. So let's zoom in here. And this is the normal shaded relief that you'll typically run into. And you'll notice it's blurry. But let me rather turn on an HD, a high definition shade. This is known as shaded relief. And what shaded relief does is it just makes life a little bit easier for you to understand what's a dip, what's a ledge. Now you zoom in here and you're going to say to me, you know what? That is pretty cool. You've got your depth range there. You're going to look, while we're on this, I just want to draw your attention to something. You're looking at this here and you see, oh, it's 13.5 feet, but over here it says that's 30 feet. What if the dam was down 17 feet? What do you do then? So you've got to get all this information before you start planning. So if this was the Mega 360 screenshot for this particular point, and that was the contour data, you know at this point that the dam was down by 17 feet. So any planning you had, you need to add 17 feet. I mean, subtract 17 feet. So if you want to fish, let's say 12 feet of water, you've got to look for that 29-foot range, okay? Because you've got a 17-foot deficit here. So anyway, this is very, very HD shaded relief. This is that's a point there. That's a low-level satellite, okay, which you can do yourself. It's free of charge. You can make it yourself. This is not a problem, okay? What I did years ago is when the dam was very, very low, I think it was around about the same time, around 2016, I went in there with a drone and I recorded this. Now, from the drone, first of all, you get very, very high quality imagery. This is going to take a little while. Okay, that loaded pretty quick. Okay, can you see that? How would you compare that to, I'm just going to see if it'll take it. It might or might not work. Let me see. If I turn it off, that is your satellite. That is your aerial HD. Okay. Let's take our 360. Our properties there. Move it over. And you can see those rocks. See those rocks there? Look how awesome that is. Okay. Fantastic tool. Okay. Now you've got this type of clarity. But hang on, I want to show you something else that's really, really cool. Do you remember HD? Let's turn the aerial HD off. Let's go back to the HD shaded relief. Programs like the majority of the programs the guys are using today to create a shaded relief. This is the type of quality, that you can expect from them, which is pretty good. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But the problem is when you zoom in close, and a lot of charts, you'll never see the manufacturer or the creator or whatever zooming in close. They just won't do it because this is what happens to typical shaded relief. It just blurs out, and this is HD. But look at this. When you collect data with a drone, you also get a form of LiDAR, light distance ranging. And this is the shaded relief you get from LiDAR. It is insanely accurate. It is insanely informative. and it matches up perfectly with your aerial HD because it comes from your aerial HD data. Right, another very powerful tool is what we call at FishTech Ultra HF, which is essentially a Sidescan. Now, anybody that doesn't know what Sidescan is has been living under a rock. You know exactly what Sidescan is. If you do not know what Sidescan is, stop this video. You should have stopped this video ages ago. Sidescan was just one of those incredible, incredible inventions that literally changed the face of fishing. And if you hear all the turmoil going on with regard to live scope and live type sonar, it must be banned in tournaments and all this type of thing. Well, let me tell you, this is nothing compared to what Sidescan did for fishing. Now, strangely enough, for those of you who do not have fish tech charts around the world, you can drive around and you can map yourself. Most of the units today have a form of Sidescan overlay that you can do yourself. That's how I started doing it. I think it was 2008, somewhere around there. I think Lawrence were the first when they brought out the HDS Generation 2. They released a thing called Structure Map. I think they were the first. And but over the years, I've realized what a powerful tool this mosaicing of your side scan is. Because number one, what the average person does is drive around and create waypoints from things you spot on your screen. Now, if you don't have a photographic memory, you've got a problem. When you go back there and you just got waypoints in front of you and nothing else, this is difficult. Ultra HF, what you see here, is like a cheat sheet. This is a cheat sheet for anybody who wants to improve their chances of catching more fish quicker. This is the solution. Okay. Over the past, I think it's been 7, 8 years now, I've been developing unmanned survey vessels, these little craft that drive around and collect data autonomously. They're extremely accurate. They pick up fantastic data, and guys, you just can't match this type of information with you on the boat. The amount of things that you can pick up from something like this, and the detail that you'll pick up from these mosaics. I mean, there's just so much. If you think about it, why do you buy these expensive tools? These electronics, Mega 360s, live scopes, all that type of thing. I mean, you want to give yourself catching is catching. Anybody will tell you catching is a lot more fun than fishing. Fishing is great; it's an awesome thing to do, but catching is the primary goal. Okay. So I've heard the argument before where someone might say, "Yeah, but why do I need the charts? I've got live scope and I've got Mega 360 and I've got my side scan and I've got everything." Guys, it's about time. It's time. Take this. This is just Ultra HF. Now take Ultra HF. Take the contours. Take aerial HD. Take elevation. Take shaded relief. Take all these things. Combine them all together. These are all the tools you need to, number one, the number one thing is to eliminate dead water. These are time-saving tools. In fact, an HD fishing chart is the only one of all your pieces, out of all your tackle and your rods and your electronics and your 360s and everything, it's the only thing you can do at home and where you should be doing it. You should be sitting at home with a coffee or a cup of tea or whatever blows your hair back, and you study these individual charts. And I'm going to give you a tip from one of my pro staff guys. What you do is, when you create a waypoint, let's say you're on Ultra HF and you see, oh, I like that, I want to have a look at that. When you make a waypoint on that, make sure that the waypoint starts with U, uniform, the letter U. So you know when you see that waypoint, which chart you need to switch to. Let's say you spotted something on your aerial HD. Then you call it A. and you'll change to that. Let's say you spotted it on elevation, then it starts with E. You see where I'm going with this? So the minute you see the waypoint, you say, oh, that looks interesting, I want to go there. Whatever letter it begins with, switch to that chart. Yeah, guys, I think 2024, keep your eyes wide open on the industry when it comes to mapping and charts. Things are going to start moving really, really quick, and you're going to see a lot of pushing and pulling between the big brands as to what's going to happen. So it's a very, very exciting year. So enjoy this time off, enjoy the time with your families, especially you tournament anglers. I know you spend a lot of time away from home. Enjoy this time. Merry Christmas, everybody, and a Happy New Year. Thanks for watching.